Hey everybody, Tom Winfesti with NC Planning, back again with Lauren Maxey and Mike Berger for our second NC Planning Complete Corporate Counsel Daily Counsel. So again, we know there's a lot of questions, a lot of uncertainty. Now it seems to be like a lot of questions about how we are in this new environment, how do we live, adapt, work towards it. But also, when are we going to, kind of get maybe more help from the feds, as well as kind of get back to our normal life? So not to say we can predict that, but hopefully today we can share a couple tools from the individual personal side, as well as the corporate side of kind of updates and things to help. So first, I'd like to turn it over to Mike. Mike, what can you tell us that's kind of going on with the federal stimulus these days, and what you're talking and helping clients with?
Sure. Thanks, Tom. Right now, we're still waiting to see a bill actually put forth. It's being politicked back and forth, I guess, amongst the parties. I've read that they're close. That seems to be the most recent updated information. And then I believe once the bill gets put forth, it'll be pretty swiftly put into law by the president. The lion's share of what we think is going to happen as far as it impacts business owners and potential stimulus relief is going to be funded through the SBA. So these are going to be most likely SBA relief loans that's going to be under SBA 7A. And that's going to be an alternative to the SBA disaster loan assistance program, which currently exists. So just to let folks know, right now, there is an application process available through the Economic Injury Disaster Loans, or EDL, if you like acronyms. Basically, through the SBA, those loans, I believe, max out at $2 million. And there are funds that are met or there for if there's a disaster that's occurred. That is an either or proposition. So if you're a business owner and you're going to be looking at the EDL loan, that's going to be an alternative to the potential stimulus coming down the pike. A word about that and what we think that's going to include. Again, no guarantees because we haven't seen the actual bill yet, but it looks like those loans are going to be sized up to about $10 million. Those proceeds are going to be mainly for payroll support, including medical leave and costs related to health benefits, employee salaries, if there are debt payments like mortgage or rent or utilities that the business has to be making, those proceeds can probably be used for those type of things. There are some parameters around that. Again, we're waiting to see final details, but we think it's going to be debts that were incurred within the last year or beyond. It's not going to be necessarily immediate, not sure where that cutoff's going to be, but if you have to pay your landlord rent, that would probably be one. To pay your utility bills, that would probably be one. And of course, payroll stimulus, right? Get the money through the business to the workers so that the workers, the employees, have the money to go on with their daily lives. I think that's really the objective there. Some unique parts about the process and how that's going to probably work. Authority is going to be delegated, it looks like, for underwriting to the SBA participating lenders. So at the local level for loan processing and things like that, we're going to see a process where those local lenders can underwrite. These are going to be, as I understand, 100% guaranteed by the government. So there are going to likely be fees that are typical in an SBA loan where there's like a guarantee fee, a lender fee. Those things are going to be likely waived by the Fed. The process we're hearing is going to hopefully be streamlined and relatively quick. Again, the idea that the money will need to get out there to employers very quickly so that they can fund payroll, they can fund debt obligations or overhead obligations. That's what we're looking for, and we're waiting for Congress to act.
Yeah, and I know, Mike, you're feeling, you're kind of having a lot of phone calls with business clients otherwise right now on the current stimulus that's out there, those disaster loans otherwise, and then really this next package that everybody's waiting to be approved really seems like the big funding is coming, and kind of getting ready to help and kind of do the preliminary steps with SBA loan apps, everything else. But hopefully we'll know more today, tomorrow, in the next couple of days to see how business owners can get some much needed relief. Would that be right?
That's correct. Where we are right now, as service providers trying to help clients and just folks who need some guidance, I would categorize it mainly we're in tee-up mode. We're trying to get things ready, in line, in order. For instance, if you're a corporation or you're an LLC and you haven't done your operating agreement yet, you are not alone. There's plenty of folks who haven't, but we can get you set up and we can get you ready for that, so that when the stimulus comes through, it becomes hopefully more of a just push button play scenario and we're ready to go. So I would urge business owners to take this time and think about getting in that tee-up mode and being ready to apply for stimulus. I'll say when, not if, it comes.
Perfect. And I know we'll have more of that, again, as it kind of rolls out. I know you're dealing with those calls, throughout the day and starting to work with some of those clients on those SBA packages for disaster and otherwise. But I appreciate that update. Lauren, are you there? I know we were having a little bit of maybe technical difficulty.
I am back. I apologize about that. Yeah,
okay.
So personal side, very similar to the business planning side. Things are changing rapidly. So the items that we talked about yesterday that were just on a Wake County scale have now kind of been adopted statewide, where closing of certain types of facilities like gyms and fitness health clubs, spas, salons are all shut down statewide. Canceling of mass gatherings over 50 people. What we were talking about yesterday, the nursing home protocols are now statewide, 1 visitor per day. People are being checked as they're going in. What we're hearing is most important there is to have the open communication with the facility itself and saying, hey, what do I need to be aware of? What precautions can we take? And just making sure that there's no surprises upon arrival there. Playgrounds and things like that have been shut down, but parks are still open as a whole. So looking at some of those changes that were just Wake County, now statewide. Also this morning, WUNC has kind of touched on UNC or North Carolina hospitals are asking Governor Cooper to have essentially a shelter-in-place order issued. So a lot of clients are preparing for that. What we are stressing is also not to go into panic mode with that. Essential services like the grocery store are still going to be open. So it's being precaution aware and taking all those necessary precautions, but also not panicking. I think a lot of people are already sheltering in place. So I don't think a whole lot is going to change there, but it's sheltering in place. I'm in office today. But it is the being aware and proactive about how can we continue to connect with our loved ones, connect with doctors in a safe way. So what I wanted to share a little bit about today, we're hearing a lot of clients and a lot of loved ones are doing a bit more with either telemedicine or Skype calls and FaceTiming. So just touching on that in particular with the telemedicine appointments, some kind of questions that we're getting are what do I need to know? And openly, it is a little different from provider to provider, but it does not hurt to ask, is that an option? Do you have telemedicine services? Can I do a FaceTime call or a Zoom call? Different providers have different platforms. And I'm a big proponent as well of doing a dry run with family. So whether it's using an application like Zoom, using an application like FaceTime, don't let the first time you're pulling up that application be 5 minutes before your appointment. Play around with family. And it's a great way to stay in touch with family as well. Family near and far can have group calls, and we're big Price is Right fans in my family, so watching Price is Right together, natural, and having some fun with it as well. So a couple of questions just to ask on the telemedicine front is, one, do you do it? What platform do you do it on? So it can be you as the consumer can do it on a computer, can do it on a tablet, a phone, but openly there's typically an application like FaceTime or Skype or Zoom that goes along with that. So what application is best? Asking, is there any additional cost? Most often it's the same cost as an in-person appointment, but always asking, is there any additional fees to be aware of? And how Medicare and everything works into that. To be aware, they cannot, of course, diagnose coronavirus over a video conference, but they can consult, they can advise, all right, here's what you need to do for your care plan. Here's when you need to get in and get a test and where to go. So it's a great first step for a lot of clients that we're seeing them take advantage of if we have these worries or our regular run-of-the-mill appointments. I don't want to go into the office to visit my dermatologist. I'd rather have a teleconference. So a great option to continue to shelter in place, practice healthy social distancing while still staying in touch, getting those appointments taken care of and not losing that. The other incredibly important piece of that is having a proper healthcare power of attorney, HIPAA authorization. I was just speaking with someone that couldn't even talk to his wife's OBGYN about their upcoming plans for their little one because he didn't have a HIPAA authorization and it wasn't on file there yet. So we've actually come together at NC Planning. We're doing a kind of give back promotion where you can call us, sign on to our website, we'll get you plugged in, and we've got a page where you type in some information and we're producing complimentary healthcare power of attorneys, HIPAA authorizations, just because it is so, so incredibly important. So get in touch with us on that. Happy to walk you through that and get you some peace of mind. But it is being safe while still taking care of yourself, still taking care of loved ones, and hopefully having some fun with it at the same time. Those group family calls can be a lot of fun. So take it one piece at a time, do some dry runs with it, and make sure you're empowered and comfortable with it every step of the way.
That's great, Lauren. And I think, for everybody, to add stress to a situation is when, you can't talk to a loved one's doctor, right? Or, the platform now has shifted. And I think I was sharing a story with you that we kind of dealt with that from a family matter, that, Zoom was kind of the new requirement for having the appointment. And so walking somebody through how to use that, how to go through it, just adds a little bit of extra stress. Anything you can do to minimize that, watch Price is Right, or, Jeopardy, or whatever your favorite is, family, to kind of ease some of that, when it's needed, I think is great advice. Well, thank you both. Again, we'll try to keep these coming. Tomorrow we'll bring more change, especially on the federal stimulus. We'll go through some of those updates. But if anybody, if you watch this video, if you get our emails or anything else, clients, you have questions, shoot us a message, pick up the phone, give us a call. We definitely are here to help, or we'll try to address those questions kind of as we go through these videos. But again, appreciate the time. Thanks, Lauren and Mike, and we'll check in with you guys tomorrow.